Today I'm going to take you inside the house. It's that lovely time of year when my house becomes sort of a garden assembly line of drying and curing some of the harvest. So I'll show you what's going on in there. It certainly looks messy for a while, but it's a beautiful mess because it's homegrown vegetables. My onions are spread about every little nook I can find in my kitchen and my living room, and that's so that they can dry further for another 2 weeks until the stems are completely dry and crispy, because I like to braid my onions. These onions are stir-on, which I grow on purpose because they're known to be great storage onions. They store for a year for me. Braiding my onions takes up very little space for me to hang in my pantry, and then I can just grab them and snip one off as needed. Any onions that look a bit suspect or have lost their tops, I just throw around the kitchen in various baskets, and that's just, I grab them as needed first for cooking. These onions are my bunching onions. I cut the stems off those and leave those in the kitchen for any of our family to grab when we're cooking. They're nice and small. I also got some bizarrely large ones, but they're so pretty I left the tops on those ones because I'm going to try to hang those. I harvested these beans this morning. There are some fava beans and some provider to be eaten as a green bean. So I'll shell these or separate for the crisper in the fridge. But most of these are now drying beans. But there are some semi-dry that will still go in my freezer, so I have to work on that in a little bit. These are beans that I left on the bush to dry as good as I could. The bugs start to get at them, so there's a point where I do have to bring them in. And then after I've potted these dry beans, I leave them in a dish to sort of air dry a little further. You know they're ready when you can't stick your fingernail through any of these beans. I just stir them around as I walk by to make sure they're able to dry on all sides. Once dry, I store them in mason jars. Here's my potatoes. I also cure those for 1 to 2 weeks just to get the skins tough, unless you want your new potatoes. But these are some of my storage potatoes. I still have many to harvest. But for now, they're right here in the garage. I'm about to move those into my utility room in the house because, again, I find that's the best temperature for them. And they will store for me probably up to 10 months. And then they start to want to grow their shoots. Some of my potatoes I keep for easy grab also in my kitchen. This isn't my main storage, but I will bring them in as needed again for my cooking for ease. Now for my garlic, I do fully cure these very carefully. I let them dry for 3 weeks. Then I check on them and make sure that there's no moisture in them at all. And then I clean them up. So once my garlic is cleaned up, I'm just picking away at it. So I think there's 10 there, so 10 at a time. And then I put them in my pantry. So this is now fully cured garlic, which will last right up until next season. I'm leaving some space for onions, but I will be bringing more in. I've got a lot to go. But I'm also taking the easy way out, and any of the smaller ones, here's some small ones. I don't waste too much time cleaning those up. Cut off the stems. These are fully cured also. And throw them around. And they're in where I cook also. Now, part of my assembly line right now is to remove my lavender and process it. And I'm continuously processing my hot peppers as they dry. And this is giving me room because soon my onions will have to come in here and more of my garlic. My lavender's ready after 2 weeks. I hang it in my pantry upside down. If you have more moisture in your air, more humidity, then 3 weeks. I can't really tell you how long my peppers hang, my hot peppers. They are obviously have, juice in them, so it takes a little longer. I just go by feel. And it's a continual process for me also. When they're dry, I take them off and grind. And then as my pepper plants indoors keep producing a lot, I just add to the top. And once ground, I just let it sit out on a plate for a bit just to ensure it's fully dried before putting it in an old spice jar. I dry my herbs continuously throughout the season in very tiny batches. It just makes it a lot easier for me. So once the herbs are nice and crisp, it's down with the old and in with the new fresh ones. My arugula seeds were ready to come in today also for save seed for next season. I've also got some radish out there and some other greens. I'll get those in a bit. They weren't quite ready today. I throw them in any bag, paper bag. Here I'm just using a grocery bag. And always remember to label because the seeds all look the same. Now at this time, my winter squash is curing outdoors and they will remain there on the plants till they die off, the plants die off, till early October. And I'll pull them in before the frost. But the best place for them to still continue to cure right now is outside, and they're still producing new ones. And then when I bring them inside, I still further cure them. I will set them out in a sunny place, usually my living room, to dry for another 2 weeks. I check those stems to make sure they're rock hard, and the skin. And the little ones that still produce and come in, I just eat those as a summer squash. They're not going to store. And I actually like them better than a zucchini because they've got a lovely firm flesh. They're beautiful sautéed. Just in here, not curing, rather ripening. But it is part of the assembly line. I bring in just tomatoes just as they start to blush, and that's because at this time of year, I could get a massive day of downpour and they could split, or I just want to take care. I don't want to lose a single one. So I bring them in as they blush. They will ripen perfectly in a day or so, and then we eat them. Well, that's some of the things that I dry and or cure. I can't think of anything else right now that I do. There probably is. But that's what's making a mess in my house at the current moment. As I say, what a beautiful mess. Well, I'm going to get on with, well, the herbs first and a few other things I just need to harvest for supper. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing. Take care, and we'll see you soon.